So Matt Gaetz, the most insane looking human being I've ever seen in my entire life, like bar none. Okay. But bar none. And I don't think that that's a controversial statement. Whether you're a conservative, whether you're a liberal, whether you're a lefty, whether you're like whatever, this man does not look normal. There is something wrong with his face, and I can't quite place it. There is something absolutely insane about this man's face. It's like simultaneously too small and also too big. His eyebrows are too long and parts of them are too wide, but parts of them are not wide enough. I don't know. But for a little bit of backstory on this guy, number one, he is absolutely insane. This guy is crazy. He has single-handedly thrown the entire Republican Party into disarray in the most embarrassing fashion. The Republicans lost their their House majority leader because of him when they had the clear majority. That's never happened before in U.S. history. It was because of a rule change that he put into place, right? It is just insane how much chaos he has thrown his own party into when they were the majority party in the House. Also, another little bit of backstory on this guy. He was investigated for child sex trafficking. Actually, he was quote unquote investigated. There was literally an investigation both in Congress and in the DOJ. What we're going to look into is why the DOJ case didn't lead to any charges, and why the DOJ thing was dropped, and why the House Ethics Committee decided to continue on with its thing. Evidence that the person is guilty? No, but the thing that I'm going to show you guys here in a second is why I would say that there is probably something there, even if there isn't like direct evidence that's public right now. Even if there's not direct evidence that is public right now, there was a House Ethics Committee investigation, and it seems like all of the Republicans are selling him out, okay? It seems like the Republicans, the people in his own party, even the more extreme people in his own party are like, yeah, we don't let him around our wives or our daughters, and so there must be a reason for that, okay? So we're going to get into that. We're going to look at some of the videos. Let's see. Which ones should we open up? First off, something I love is how many people are doing this thing. It's not pedophilia. It's ephebiophilia. We need to talk about the accusation. Matt Gaetz is a pedophile. Now, technically, he's not a pedophile. Technically, he's an ephebiophile. And he spent like half the entire time of this entire post trying to avoid saying ephebiophile, right? Which means there's like, I guess there's different kinds of levels of underage attraction. And pedophile means like children. And then ephebiophile means someone who is like just going through puberty or something. I don't know for sure. Okay. Maybe he's just a map. Nobody in the entire history of the world has unironically pushed people using that term, but okay, buddy. But yeah, like I've seen like 5 posts like this today trying to defend, sex trafficking a child. And it just reminded me of this ancient YouTube video that I saw. And I've always wondered, is there ever going to be a good opportunity to use a clip from this? And there was, finally, there was.
So no, Being attracted to a 15-year-old girl doesn't make you a pedophile. It makes you an ephebiophile. And there is a huge difference that people need to understand. My uncle Alex was recently arrested for having sex with a 17-year-old girl, and he is now serving a 3-year prison sentence. There's no justice in this world when a man can be imprisoned for having sex with a girl that the rest of the world considers to be a mature adult. And now he's going to be labeled as a pedophile for the rest of his life, even though he isn't a pedophile. He's, if anything, an ephebiophile. You people are so obsessed with age, like that's the only thing that matters. What we need to do is establish a criteria for what makes somebody attractive despite age. So no, being attractive...
This is the kind of guy that defends people like Vosh from kiddie porn allegations. Yeah, it's some weird shit. It's some weird shit, okay? Nair, it's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen, but it's old internet humor. It's old internet humor, not acceptable. It's heavily suppressed by YouTube. It is almost impossible to find that video anymore. But anyways, so let's look into some of these clips. Let's open up the House Ethics Committee cancels meeting on Gaetz investigation. Let's open up ethics report will be damning and the fallout. We'll open up these three because they're relatively short. We can get through them pretty quick, and then we can look into some of the stuff. All right. So, also, quick little extra thing. Conservatives have been like the pedophile hunters for, you know, at least as long as 2016, when I started looking at it, politics on the internet. It is insane the levels to which they see pedophiles literally everywhere. All right. It is crazy to me. Now, I'm no defender of pedophiles, but I also don't think that there's as many as those people say in the world. Okay. That shit's absolutely crazy. But suddenly, now that there's a guy who is an actual, you know, an actual sex trafficker in Trump's cabinet, now all of a sudden we have to start thinking about, okay, well, should we be calling these people this? Should we not be calling this?
The House Ethics Committee abruptly canceled a highly anticipated meeting set for today. Members were expected to vote on whether or not to release the report on an investigation into sex trafficking allegations against Trump's AG pick, Matt Gaetz. Pressure has been building for the panel to make its findings public. I want to bring in CBS News political reporter Zach Hudak.
I'm sure this is a characteristic of conservatives. Yeah. I mean, do you not know about Pizzagate? Do you not know about, you know, QAnon? Do you not know about these things? Like, yeah, I would say that it's like more of a conservative thing to see, you know, to see people. Fuck. What's a good, if I say PDF file, God, that just seems so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Childish. Like, we can't have the conversation. I understand why, but what's a good, I'm just going to say these people. I'm just going to say these people. All right. And you guys will know who I'm talking about. So I stopped saying the word. But like, yeah, conservatives, like, absolutely for the past 8 years have been on a hunt, like with the bloodhounds out, sniffing at everyone's door, trying to find out who is and who isn't one of these people, you know? Well, sure, if you're going to pretend that QAnon is quote unquote conservative, you might have a point. Okay.
The House Ethics Committee abruptly canceled a highly anticipated meeting set for today. Members were expected to vote on whether or not to release the report on an investigation into sex trafficking allegations against Trump's AG pick, Matt Gaetz. Pressure has been building for the panel to make its findings public. I want to bring in CBS News political.
See the clip, it bolsters your point.
When it comes to the selection of Representative Gaetz, I just think it's silly. I believe that the president is probably rewarding him for being such a loyal soldier to the president But the president is smart enough and his team is smart enough to know that Mr. Gaetz will never get confirmed by the Senate whatsoever. And so this is just going to be a very long period of time for him that he's going to get excoriated by members of the Senate on both sides of the aisle because he's never been a team player and he's never helped out this conference.
Probe was dropped, but ultimately Matt Gaetz being picked by President Trump, I think, is a strong statement that the weaponization of government, and the Biden administration using government against their political enemies is coming to an end. That party's over. And we're going to clean up the mess over at the Department of Justice. And, Matt Gaetz surely is going to be focused on making sure that agencies like the Department of Justice work for the American people, not against their political opponents. And that had been going on for too long. We have a lot of talented members in the House. And, we've asked the president this morning, we met with President Trump and said, please, no more House members after Matt Gaetz. But Elise Stefanik going to the UN is a great...
Please, no more House members. You're going to completely ruin the entire point of us winning both the House and the Senate, or all three of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Please, for the love of God, quit picking your loyalists from the House. Oh my God.
Great pick. That's going to be a really important move for our position in the world to be able to, really make sure President Trump's foreign policy is going to be able to convey it across the world by Elise, who's done such a great job here in the House.
All right, and one more clip, and then we're going to keep on watching.
I'll give you the truth why I'm not Speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became Speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle. Did he do it or not? I don't know, but ethics is looking at it. There's other people in jail because of it, and he wanted me to influence it. And you know what? So then they come out and they say, because I kept government open. I'd do it all over again. I'll give you the truth why I'm not Speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became Speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle. Did he do it or not? I don't know.
Oh, man. Okay, let's keep going.
Reporter Zach Hudak to talk more about this. So, Zach, this was one of the most anticipated announcements in Washington this week. What are you hearing from lawmakers, and could we potentially see that report at some point?
Vlad, I think that we can almost certainly expect that at least some of the aspects of that report will leak. The reality is Matt Gaetz is one of the most hated men on Capitol Hill. He is loved by some, but has many enemies up there. And I'm sure that there will be aspects of that report that will become public, whether or not through official channels on Capitol Hill. He is loved by some, but has many enemies up there. And
God, he looks insane, man. God. How does he look like an evil Who from Whoville? He looks like a Dr. Seuss character.
And I'm sure that there will be aspects of that report that will become public, whether or not through official channels. I think probably more likely through unofficial channels. But the other thing we're hearing about that appointment is that there are some in Washington who are looking at him as sort of a sacrifice, someone who moderate Republicans can vote against and actually stop the appointment of in order to show that they will put their foot down somewhere. Now that is what some believe. Some think that Trump will make sure to get Gaetz through, get him through at least temporarily with a recess appointment, as it's so called, appointing him while Congress is not in session. And in doing so, what we would see is really something somewhat unprecedented. Matt Gaetz does not have the typical credentials of a U.S. Attorney General. He did go to law school, but he has not run Attorney General's offices or done things like that. And he's someone who has a number of allegations against him. So I think what we would see is a new level of a loyalist to the administration, to the president, running the justice system, which really would be a shift in our American political system.
All right, Zach, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
Did you hear that they were considering taking a recess so that all of Trump's picks get auto-selected? Yes, I had heard that, but there's also, I'm not sure about like talking about it on stream because I'm not sure how realistic it actually is, or like if people are just coping, because I don't know. Oh, look at that. It's Malcolm. Oh my God. Jesus, get Malcolm out of here. Get Malcolm out of here. That guy. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, there's some people that are saying that oh man, I don't even know his name. I'll keep that tab open because people want to talk about it. Senate Majority Leader vote. What's his name? Thune. Some people are saying that the entire reason that the Republicans in the Senate are electing John Thune as the next majority leader is because they still want to have a check on Trump. Like, there were 2 Trump loyalists that were running to be the Senate majority leader and give him literally everything that he wanted. John Thune is not one of those people, allegedly. I don't know anything about this guy. But yeah, evidently they want to have some kind of check on him in the Senate. No, you're right. He does look like Max Headroom. Wait, hold on. Max Headroom. Bro, wait, holy shit. He looks like a soyified Max Headroom. You're right. What was Matt Gaetz? Holy shit. Images? This one over here? Bro, you can't tell me. You can't tell me like Max Headroom isn't like the Giga Chad version of Matt Gaetz. No, hold on. There's something. No, he's too handsome. This guy is like a up, you know, like Cronenberg monster version of Max Headroom. No.
Let's bring in former
Where's the
President-elect
3-minute one? All right, I will watch this.
Trump's nominee for Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, is facing major pushback on Capitol Hill. Rachel Scott is there with the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning to you. And the House Ethics Committee.
All right, let's see what this is. New polling from Data Progress confirms a strong inverse relationship between news consumption and support for Trump. Those who paid a great deal of attention to political news were Harris +6, while those who paid none at all went 19 points plus for Trump. Oh, man. That's so depressing. Holy hell. What political news engagement tells us about Donald Trump's victory? Oh, no, go away. Donald Trump won the 2024 election over Kamala Harris, and now the analysts are searching for answers. There's no shortage of takes, and some probably right, some definitely wrong, and plenty from people using results to confirm their own priors. For us, one factor was difficult to ignore: how closely voters paid attention to political news. We asked respondents how much they follow national politics across TV, radio, newspapers, and the internet, with the responses from a great deal to none at all. After we pulled a month's worth of respondents before the election, here's who each group favored. There was a study where they had to answer questions, and it's basic conspiracy stuff. Hey, Tron, link that to me. Shoot it to me in DMs. I'd love to see that. All likely voters. And then news attentiveness. A great deal, 52%. A lot, 50-47. A moderate amount, 46-49. A little, 42-49. None at all, 32-51. Good God, dude. Good God. That is so depressing. The pattern is clear. Harris won with voters who pay serious attention to political news, while Trump solidified much of his support from voters who don't. I guess we just need to make it to where people don't care about the news, and we need to lie just like Donald Trump does about all of his, all of his policies and like who he's going to be as president, and about what's happening in the world. We just have to lie, and then encourage people not to consume any information that might contradict what they already previously believed. I guess that's the strat now, guys. That's the strat now. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, back to Matt Gaetz. Which ethics report will be damning from former congressman, or fallout after Trump nominates Gaetz as Attorney General. Let's watch this one first.
President-elect Trump's nominee for Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, is facing major pushback on Capitol Hill. Rachel Scott is there with the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning to you. And the House Ethics Committee ended its investigation into Matt Gaetz after he resigned from Congress once Donald Trump tapped him to serve as Attorney General. But this morning, Democrats and Republicans in the Senate tell me they want to see the findings of that investigation. And now there is growing pressure on that bipartisan committee to release their report.
This morning, Republican senators signaling the confirmation of Matt Gaetz as the nation's top law enforcement officer is far from a done deal.
Well, we'll talk about it for certain. I know he's going to have an uphill battle.
Senate Democrats and Republicans calling on the
God, conservatives hate him so much, dude. I didn't realize, like, I knew that there were certain people in Congress that other Congress people do not like. I like, obviously, you know, you have coworkers, you like some of them more than you like the other ones. But I didn't realize how bad it was, dude. I didn't realize how bad it was. Because this is like insane. Here, this is something that I liked on Twitter. Fox News contributor Ben Dominic weighs in on Matt Gaetz and commits brutal murder. And this is what he said. I realize that we are occasionally given to hyperbole about the untoward nature of politicians, but let me be clear. Matt Gaetz is a slex snafficking. I'm going to try and be careful here, okay? Drug-addicted piece of shit. He is abhorrent. His eyes are permanently rimmed with the red rings of chemical boosters. In person, he smells like overexposed Axe body spray and stale Astroglide. The fact that he boasted on the floor to multiple colleagues in the House of Representatives of his methods of crushing Viagra and high-test Red Bull to maintain his erection through his orgiastic evenings is perhaps the least offensive of his many crimes against womanhood and Christian faith. Holy shit. That is the most brutal sentence I've ever read in my entire life. Good God in heaven. There is nothing. Perhaps the least offensive of his many crimes against womanhood and Christian faith. The man has less principles than your average fentanyl-addicted hobo. He likes them underage, and he's not ashamed of it. Matt Gaetz isn't just your average extreme Florida MAGA man. He's a hypocritical ass with the worst Botox money can buy, pursuing an ever thinner nose and higher cheekbones at every opportunity, like a real housewife gone mad for fillers. Every Republican in Washington has an opinion about Matt Gaetz. And 99% of those opinions are keep Matt Gaetz away from my wife, daughter, friend, and anyone I care about. Holy shit. Brutal murder.
Thank you, Vlad.
Oh, this one.
Is far from a done deal.
Well, we'll talk about it for certain. I know he's going to have an uphill battle.
Senate Democrats and Republicans calling on the bipartisan House Ethics Committee to release their findings from a months-long investigation into Gaetz for alleged sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Allegations Gaetz has long claimed are false.
How critical is it then to have access to what the House Ethics Committee has found in their investigation?
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate Judiciary Committee's investigation, including whatever the House Ethics Committee has generated.
So you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Sources say the committee was preparing to vote to release that report as early as this week. But after Trump announced his nomination, Gaetz abruptly resigned from Congress. The move immediately ending the investigation.
Can you still release the report?
Yeah, also, the fact that there's no conspiracy theories on the conservative side about, like, the fact that they were investigating him for this, right? And he resigns 2 days before any of the findings are released publicly, thus, like, kneecapping any information coming out whatsoever. Like, this doesn't make conservatives wonder whatsoever. I guarantee you, like, 1,000,000%, there isn't even a shadow of a doubt in my mind that if conservatives saw a liberal do this sort of thing, right, with this amount of, like, evidence and rumor being thrown around and people in the background talking about, like, I don't want him near my wife, I don't want him near my daughter, I don't want him near any of my women friends, and then they resigned from Congress 2 days before to be the Attorney General of the United States, conservatives would be losing their absolute minds, dude. Democrats did the same. Can you like explain how like there's any correlation between what I'm talking about here and what that is? You'd rush to defend any Democrat? No. What are you talking about? I've criticized Democrats a ton on my stream. I have criticized Democrats. I've criticized Republicans. There's a Democrat that I said that we should lock up. Actually, is he locked up? New Jersey Senator corruption. I can never remember his name. Robert Menendez. Is he in jail? Oh, he might get it thrown out because of erroneous evidence. No, he needs to go to jail. He was bribed like a dude. He was bribed like a Wait, no, come on. Caused a laptop given to jurors to contain several pieces of evidence that did not have the redactions ordered by the judge. 9 government exhibits were missing redactions, which were endorsed or ordered so the evidence did not violate the Constitution's speech or debate clause. The clause protects speech relating to information shared by legislators. Prosecutors argued that no action was necessary for multiple reasons, including that the defense reviewed the documents on the laptop before it was handed over to the jury and made no objections. They also said that there was a reasonable likelihood that the jurors did not see the incorrectly redacted exhibits, which were of secondary relevance and cumulative with abundant properly admitted evidence. Well, hopefully he does get sentenced. I hope that doesn't affect it because I don't like corrupt politicians personally. I do not like corrupt politicians. Republicans elected a felon. They can't get on their high horse about defending criminals. True, true, true. Okay, anyways. Back to this.
But after Trump announced his nomination, Gaetz abruptly resigned from Congress, the move immediately ending the investigation.
Can you still release the report?
No, sure can't.
Sources tell ABC News the committee heard from a young woman who said Gaetz had sex with her when she was just 17 years old, while he was still in Congress. It's a claim Gaetz denies, saying in a statement, this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. The lawyer representing that woman calling Gaetz' nomination a perverse development, saying she was a high school student and there were witnesses. The Justice Department Gaetz could soon leave. The lawyer representing that woman calling Gaetz' nomination a perverse development.
I thought that they said this was the person that was defending Matt Gaetz. I was like, dude, this is the worst attorney in the world.
Saying she was a high school student and there were witnesses. The Justice Department Gaetz could soon lead was actually investigating him for obstruction of justice and sex trafficking. Gaetz denies those allegations too. And even though the DOJ closed their investigation without bringing charges, the allegations alone raising doubts.
A lot of people will spend a lot of political capital on something that even if it got done, you'd have to wonder if it was worth it.
Sources tell us Trump's decision to nominate Gaetz came together within just 24 hours. Trump, not impressed by a handful of other candidates, ultimately persuaded during his flight back from D.C. Gaetz, who is a fierce defender of Trump, at one point suggested he should be up for the job.
I'd fire every little.
Do you have any ABC News is a credible source laughing emoji? Is there anything that they're saying here that you can disprove? Like, listen, this is me investigating this. This is me learning more about this. I haven't read anything about it except for that one tweet that I read out the contents of a minute ago. So if you have anything that disproves what ABC News is saying here, or the previous one that was, I think, AP, or this next one that is going to be, this one's also ABC. We have CBS, we have ABC, we had AP. Like, if you have anything that would go against anything that they said, then you can, well, you won't be able to post a link in chat, but you can definitely post like a title of a YouTube video or a title of an article, and I will read it. All news is fake. Oh no, it's one of those people. Listen, I don't know how to help you if you think all news is fake. How do you get any information ever? You just trust the one guy that is like provably lying to you? I don't know. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? If we shunned every politician who got accused of something, there would be no one in D.C. Well, that's what we're looking into. You guys, like, listen, I'm not saying that he definitely is one, but I'm saying that based off of what we've seen so far, even from people on his own side who know him personally, it seems like not a lot of people like him and a lot of people don't want their wives and daughters around him. So if you if you guys have anything that would defend the guy that's being accused of these heinous crimes, then please post them in chat. I am very willing to eat my words live on stream and say that I was wrong about something.
Republican Congressman
Charlie
Kicker at the J. Edgar Hoover.
From D.C., Gaetz, who is a fierce defender of Trump, at one point suggested he should be up for the job.
I'd fire every little kicker at the J. Edgar Hoover building and send them all packing.
Threatening to take an axe to the Justice Department.
We either get this government back on our...
Something that I don't understand is the unmitigated hate for the FBI. Like, there are mistakes that any agency is going to make, and I'll be the first person to admit that. There's going to be, corruption, and that should be rooted out, et cetera, et cetera. But like the FBI, predominantly stops things from happening here in the United States that we don't want to happen in the United States, right? They catch the exact kind of people that Matt Gaetz is being accused of being. They are like a pretty effective law enforcement agency. We can cry and moan and bitch and, cry tears of blood all we want about, oh no, they went after Donald Trump. And that means that they're all evil. But at the end of the day, the majority of what the FBI does is catch criminals that live amongst us every day. They catch people who are scamming you from through phone stuff. They catch criminals who are scamming people's bank accounts. It's just, yeah.
Side, or we defund and get rid of...
What's he accused of? I don't want to say it again because the last time I said the word that he's being accused of being, it throttled my reach on YouTube. But it sounds like a certain kind of file that you can do on your computer, the PDF file. Yeah. No. It's, statutory. Yes, that sort of thing.
Abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them, if they do not come to heel.
So I'm told this morning that Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, as well as Matt Gaetz himself, have been making calls to senators, really trying to gauge support. But I will tell you, I've talked to at least 5 Republican senators here on Capitol Hill. All of them acknowledge that this could be an uphill battle with.
All right, Rachel Scott for us. Thank you.
ATF is trash. Well, I don't, gun issues aren't my top issue, so I don't really look into it, into ATF stuff all that much. I've seen more negative stuff about them than positive, but then again, all the things I see negative are from people who are hardcore Second Amendment, do or die. Never. You can take my 500 cycle rate fucking machine gun from my cold dead fingers type people. I'm not anti Second Amendment by any stretch of the imagination, but I also don't like the crazies, and at a certain point, when all I see are the crazies criticizing a specific agency, it makes me think maybe these crazies just want to be able to break the law. So, I mean, I don't know. I gun issues just are not even in my top 5 political priorities right now. So that's it. Anything Trump do, they're going to find something negative to say. Well, if you think that I'm saying anything correct, you can always type into chat, !Discord, like that, and you can tell me what I've said that is wrong. See, there's a little link right there. It'll bring up a tab that you can join my Discord, and you can jump into a voice call with me. If you don't have Discord, we can do it through Twitter. So I have a question for you. Have you ever shot a gun? I have shot more guns than probably 90% of liberals, yes. I have gone hunting. I grew up in the deep South. I went hunting with my grandfather. I've never shot a pistol, but that's because my grandfather's old school, just go out and hunt type guy. So, but I've shot rifles. I've shot shotguns. I've taken blood. All right. I had the blood smeared on my face after getting, I think I've got 5, maybe 6 deers over the course of my life. But it's only something that we do when we visit my grandfather. So are you on the left centrist? Well, it depends on, I would say that I'm probably on the left. If you're like a socialist or a communist, you would probably say that I'm a centrist. But I'm like pretty solidly center left. Embarrassed leftist? I was embarrassed of my leftist phase, yes. Back when I was a dumb child.